JP Morgan, a well-known bank with a reputation for strong leadership and advanced technology, is facing criticism for failing to catch a scam by a 31-year-old young entrepreneur named Charlie Javice. Despite JP Morgan's history of being good at managing risks, people are asking questions about how thoroughly they checked Javice's background, finances, and compliance with rules. The case is being called the Frank lawsuit, and it's been getting a lot of attention in the news and from the public. Make sure to watch the video till the end, because we'll look at what happened and how Javice was able to deceive America's most powerful bank, JP Morgan. We'll also talk about what JP Morgan has learned from this experience and what it could mean for the future of banking. Stay tuned for a clear explanation of this complicated situation. So, let's dive in with a small background of the story first. Introduction to Charlie Javice and JP Morgan scam. Charlie Javice made headlines for allegedly orchestrating one of the most audacious scams in recent financial history, involving JP Morgan, which is one of the largest and most influential banks in the world. JP Morgan's size, resources, and reach make it a significant player in the industry, attracting attention and scrutiny alike. Javice's startup, Frank, aimed to simplify the student financial aid application process. She portrayed herself as a savvy entrepreneur with real-world experience in navigating the complexities of student financial aid. Her purported expertise and media-savvy persona contributed to her ability to deceive JP Morgan. The scam involving Javice and JP Morgan unfolded when the bank acquired Frank for a staggering $175 million. Javice allegedly misled JP Morgan by fabricating information about Frank's capabilities and success. She presented herself as a seasoned entrepreneur with first-hand experience in the challenges of student financial aid, convincing JP Morgan of Frank's potential to revolutionize the industry. However, the truth emerged when JP Morgan realized it had been deceived, leading to legal action against Javice. Her ability to manipulate information and deceive a financial giant like JP Morgan highlights the complexities and risks inherent in business dealings. The scandal serves as a cautionary tale, underscoring the importance of thorough due diligence and skepticism, even when dealing with seemingly reputable entrepreneurs and institutions. The repercussions of this scam extend beyond financial losses, impacting trust, credibility, and accountability within the business and financial sectors. Charlie Javice's deception tactics. Charlie Javice used sneaky ways to trick JP Morgan and carry out a fake sale of her company Frank for $175 million. She used a range of tactics to deceive them, and we'll take a closer look at how she did it. 1. False claims about Frank's success. Javice misled JP Morgan by exaggerating the company's achievements and potential. She overhyped the impact and effectiveness of Frank's services, making it seem like a groundbreaking solution for simplifying the student financial aid application process, when in reality, it might not have been as revolutionary as she claimed. This is known as false claims and can be harmful to investors and the reputation of the company. 2. Fabricated information. It is believed that Javice made up information to make Frank seem more valuable to JP Morgan. She may have lied about things like Frank's financial situation, or even created fake stories from people who supposedly knew and trusted Frank. This was done to make JP Morgan think that Frank was a good investment, when in reality it may not have been. 3. Manipulation of evidence. JP Morgan has accused Javice of creating fake evidence to support her claims about Frank's success. This probably involved making up documents, lying about partnerships, and coming up with complicated plans to deceive JP Morgan's process of verifying information. 4. Media-savvy persona. Javice was a smart businesswoman who knew how to promote herself in the media. She used her public image as a young and innovative entrepreneur to build her credibility and influence. By creating a positive reputation in the media and showing herself as a successful and trustworthy businesswoman, she likely hoped to convince JP Morgan to trust her and make a fraudulent deal easier. 5. Selective disclosure. It's possible that Javice didn't tell JP Morgan everything they needed to know about Frank, a startup company. She might have left out important information or made things seem less risky than they were. By doing this, she was trying to influence JP Morgan's opinion of Frank and make them think that everything was okay when there might have been problems. 6. Exploitation of trust and authority. It appears that Javice took advantage of JP Morgan's reputation and influence in the financial industry to make her fraudulent scheme seem more trustworthy. By presenting Frank as a highly valuable asset who was supported by a well-known institution like JP Morgan, she aimed to make potential investors and stakeholders feel confident in her scheme, making it easier for her to deceive them. The Frank lawsuit. JP Morgan has filed a lawsuit against Charlie Javice for allegedly deceiving and defrauding the bank during the sale of the startup for $175 million. Both parties have made their respective claims and are currently in a legal battle. 1. JP Morgan's allegations. JP Morgan has accused Charlie Javice of providing false information about a startup called Frank. JP Morgan claims that Javice made up evidence and exaggerated Frank's success to make it seem more valuable than it was. As a result, JP Morgan says that they ended up paying more money for the company than it was worth. 2. Trickery and deception. JP Morgan is accusing Javice of using dishonest tactics to convince the bank to acquire Frank. They claim that Javice provided false information, made up success stories, and used other deceptive strategies to make Frank look better than it was. According to the bank, Javice's actions were fraudulent and misleading, which caused significant financial harm. Therefore, JP Morgan is seeking legal action to recover the damages caused by Javice's behavior. 3. Financial losses. JP Morgan claims that they experienced significant financial losses due to the actions of Javice. The bank believes that Javice's providing false information led JP Morgan to pay more than they should have for the purchase of a company called Frank. This has resulted in harm to the bank's reputation and finances. As a result, JP Morgan is seeking compensation for the losses they incurred due to this fraudulent transaction. 4. Javice's defense. In response to a lawsuit filed by JP Morgan, Charlie Javice has denied the allegations of fraud and deception. She claims that she did not do anything wrong and that the value of Frank was accurately represented during the acquisition process. According to Javice, JP Morgan's claims are not true and are motivated by a desire to change the terms of the deal after the fact. Javice may present evidence to support her position, such as testimonials from investors and partners, financial records, and other documentation to refute JP Morgan's claims. 5. Legal proceedings. There is a legal dispute going on between JP Morgan and Charlie Javice. Both parties are involved in legal proceedings to resolve the matter. Javice's defense team is expected to strongly defend against JP Morgan's allegations, while the bank is trying to recover its losses and hold Javice accountable for her actions through legal means. To put it simply, the legal case, the Frank lawsuit, is causing a lot of attention. It's about some serious accusations of cheating and lying that JP Morgan is making against Charlie Javice. JP Morgan says that Javice tricked them into buying Frank and that they were not being truthful about it. But Javice says that she did nothing wrong and that she's innocent. This disagreement has led to a big fight in court to find out who is telling the truth. Media and public reaction. The scandal between Charlie Javice and JP Morgan has caught the media's attention, and people have had different reactions to it. The scandal involves allegations of fraud and deception in selling Javice's startup, Frank, to JP Morgan for $175 million. The media extensively covered the scandal, and many news outlets have reported on the details of the lawsuit. They have analyzed its implications for the financial industry and startup ecosystem. The public's perception of Charlie Javice has been significantly influenced by the scandal. Some people view her as a cunning entrepreneur who orchestrated a scheme to defraud a major financial institution, while others sympathize with her as a young innovator whose ambition may have led her astray. The scandal has damaged Javice's credibility and raised questions about her integrity, potentially damaging her prospects in the business world and undermining investor confidence in her future ventures. The scandal has also affected the perception of JP Morgan, with some people criticizing the bank for failing to detect the alleged fraud earlier and questioning its decision-making processes. Lessons learned and implications. The scandal involving Charlie Javice and JP Morgan teaches some important lessons for both entrepreneurs and financial institutions. It shows that it's essential to be honest and transparent in business dealings to build trust and avoid damaging your reputation. Financial institutions must also be careful when engaging in partnerships or acquisitions and make sure they conduct thorough investigations to identify and mitigate potential risks. Due diligence is crucial to assess the legitimacy and viability of business ventures and uncover any discrepancies that may indicate potential fraud or misconduct. Effective risk management practices are also necessary to safeguard organizations against unforeseen threats and vulnerabilities. Conclusion and final thoughts. The recent scandal involving Charlie Javice and JP Morgan brought to light some critical issues regarding honesty, carefulness, and risk management in business transactions. To summarize what happened, Charlie Javice is accused of tricking JP Morgan into buying her startup, Frank, for $175 million by lying about its value and making up fake information. This incident has caused a lot of media attention and raised questions about how well JP Morgan investigates the companies it does business with. This situation teaches us that it's important to be honest, transparent, and ethical in all business dealings, no matter what. It's important to remember that success doesn't justify bad behavior and that everyone should be accountable for their actions. What do you think about the recent scandal involving Javice and JP Morgan? Was Charlie Javice right in taking the actions she did, or do you believe JP Morgan's accusations had merit? Share your opinions in the comments below, and remember to like, share, and subscribe to stay up to date with the latest news in the world of finance.